Hello everybody, welcome to our channel, Lheen in the Philippines. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Philippines. It's another hot day. My job is to cool down the princess of the house.
What the How's everyone?
Hope everybody's doing great out there. Hope you have a great week. It's Friday here in the Philippines, right?
No.
Friday. Getting ready for a wham bam weekend. Got kids out of the house. They went to, what is it called? Church thing? Went to a church youth camp. So, for the day, for the night. So, Lynn's got to put up with me by herself. Poor Lynn.
Okay.
Megan's being lazy cat today. Says it's too hot to run and play. But, not much to talk about on our side anyway. So, we thought we'd talk about this story I come across. Just talking about the differences between the Philippines and the United States somewhat. And in the Philippines, tipping is generally considered a discretionary gesture, unlike the United States, where it's a significant part of the service industry wage structure. Many establishments, especially restaurants, already include a service charge in the bill, so tipping is not expected, but it's always appreciated for exceptional service. So, for example, in the Philippines, baby man, don't get in the way. Well, sit down. Sit down now. Good girl. Hey. So, for example, in the Philippines, not mandatory. Tipping is not a requirement, and there's no pressure to tip. Unless you're that white skin. I have some more of your money. I'm just joking. Service charge. Many restaurants have a service charge, usually 7 to 10%, already included in the bill, so it's not necessary to tip on top of that. You ever notice that? Service charge here? They say there's a service charge usually on the restaurant bill or something. You don't never notice that?
I never notice sometimes on the exit of the restaurant.
Okay. Discretionary. Tipping is based on the quality of service and your satisfaction. Is that about right for the Philippines? Yeah.
So it's like that.
So the amount, you can tip 20, 50, 100 pesos or more, depending on your assessment of the service. Wow. Do you tip 100 pesos?
Never. Not yet.
Not yet?
I don't know, I'm sure.
What's the most you ever tipped, do you think?
Have
you ever
2050.
2050? Wow. So discreet, if you do tip, it's recommended to hand the tip discreetly and say thank you in the Philippines. Is that right? You want to make a big deal out of it in the Philippines?
Yeah, it's a big deal.
But they say don't make a big deal out of it or something. Just
it depends to you how you appreciate.
Slide it underneath, you put it under the glass and slide it. Here's 20 pesos. I don't know. They probably don't have to claim it here on their taxes. So in the United States, it is expected, of course. Tipping is a deeply ingrained part of the service industry's culture. And it's expected in many settings, especially restaurants and bars, because the way they pay in the United States is they do not get minimum wage. Waiters and bartender stuff, they don't get minimum wage. They get less than minimum wage. So tipping is expected because that's part of their salary. Does that make sense?
Oh, part of their salary.
Well, yeah. The tips, they count on the tips as part of their salary. Because they don't make minimum wage. Whatever let's say minimum wage, for example, is $8. You're probably paying your waitresses, bartender stuff about $2 or $3. So they rely on tips to make their living. Wage structure: many services wages are low, and they rely on tips to supplement their income. Just like I said there. Percentage: a standard tip is typically between 15 to 20% of the bill before tax, but it can vary based on service quality. In some restaurants, there may be pressure to tip a certain percentage, and some servers may even approach you they feel the tip is insufficient. They feel like you didn't tip them enough money.
So it
They'll
means,
chase you down on the way out the door and say, hey, you didn't give me not enough money. You got to give me more money.
mm-hmm. Sounds like, okay.
Sounds like okay.
Sounds like for me, in the state, if you are working below wages,
Yeah,
is that right?
yeah.
Uh, like, you didn't assure how much you really pay in times of salary or payday. So you didn't assure that how much your
No, you live
salary.
off your if you live off your tips and stuff. But in the States, they have to claim their tips on their taxes. Yeah, so it's part of their salary, and they have to at the end of the night they're supposed to tally it all up and declare it and stuff like that. So you're supposed to pay taxes on that. But a lot of people take it because it's cash and they put some of it in their pocket. Stuff like that. I worked in industries long enough to know that. But yeah, so it's a little bit different when it comes
So
back around that way.
so in that way, so you can earn a lot because it's mandatory.
They say
Because
it's mandatory. People expect it. There are going to be waiters,
Yeah.
bartenders, whatever, that are going to yell at you if you don't leave a tip. Like if you get up, leave your lunch or your bar, and you don't leave a tip, they're going to say something. I never did when I bartended. Somebody didn't leave me a tip. They didn't leave me a tip. Apparently, they didn't like my service. So I just didn't never say nothing. But I know people that have chased at people going out the door. You didn't leave any money. You didn't leave a tip. Da, 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 da. I get it both ways. I understand it. Some people rely on their tips all the time. But some people are just not good at waitering on tables. Some people are just not good at bartending. So maybe they're trying to tell you that we don't like you.
Mhm.
But so it's different in the States as far as that aspect goes and how much they expect, at least 20%.
So it means they expect already 20%.
Well, yeah, if you spend $100, they want at least 20.
$100.
At least 20.
Mm-hmm.
So and it depends on what the restaurant is, how fancy it is, and McDonald's know you don't tip, stuff like that. But um, sit down restaurants, I guess you call them, and stuff is where you tip. But and bars, when you go to bars, tip bartender, waitress, whatever you got, wherever you're at, and that's pretty basic there.
Mm.
So how about here? They don't do that here. They don't.
Yeah, they have also usually in the restaurant, the bar.
Well, like when we take a taxi, in the States, we tip the taxi driver
You take
or whatever, Grab driver, we tip them. And here,
You
I
too.
know I tip them here.
Yeah.
But is it a common thing with Filipinos to tip?
The Filipino, some they can give tips, some are not like that. But you are foreigner, so usually,
Yeah.
usually
He's a
they don't
foreigner,
say
so
they
they
don't
just
say that they don't say anything, but in their eyes they are looks like need can have
hit
a
the jackpot.
extra or
Yeah.
tips like that.
Yeah.
Like that. Even the tricycle
They don't
driver.
demand it though. I mean,
They don't.
where rarely have I heard one of our truck drivers or anything ever say, something like that.
There's
So the
something.
guys are pretty nice about it. You can kind of tell that they're hoping, and I understand that you live off your tips. Even here, the truck drivers especially, they live off their tips. They make, and
But if
so,
you're Filipino, they don't expect
right.
anymore. Mhm. And of course, if they give tips from Filipino, they surprise because not all the time, like you know. But the tips is not mandatory or by taxes, like you said.
We always tip, we catch a grab or something, and we're going to immigration and stuff like that. The only time we really didn't tip was that jerk off in Manila or Makati. we knew what the price was to go from Yala Mall over to Immigration's 320. And so then always goes up to the cab. We forgot to put a load on her phone, so she couldn't order the Grab on her phone. So we caught one underneath the mall there, and she walked up and talked to the guy, and then she waved at me. I come in, and I said, "Well, how much is it?" And she said 320. And the guy, "Oh, no. What did he raise it up to? 450 or something?" Because I got into the Grab. So he didn't get a tip. You know, you're going to be wanting more money from me. That's fine, but you're not going to get a tip on top of that either. So, but it's kind of interesting to see how the differences and stuff that is.
But me, that tips for me is like willingness. What you willingness? Sometimes,
What do
yeah,
you mean?
willingness. Like what's in your heart, something like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if you have when it comes to service industry, if somebody gives you very good service or goes beyond and gives you great service, you should tip. I mean, I don't, I know there's certain countries no tipping is allowed, like Korea, and I think Japan. I think Japan too is no tipping.
Here also in the Philippines, they have like store, like in the grocery store, because you meet.
Well, I never tipped in the grocery store in my life. I don't think I have.
Because, for example, you meet somebody in the grocery store working, and then they work like janitor like that, and then you want to give tips when you
Oh yeah.
go to in the bathroom, but they don't accept because it's not allowed. Something like that,
Well, I've never tipped in a grocery store in my life.
like a janitor,
I never tipped.
like that. Last time we go to in Pure Gold Lattes, you want to give tips for those
No, I didn't.
guy.
No, that was for the Christmas though, huh?
Yeah, Christmas.
That was
Yeah,
for
it's
Christmas.
Christmas
'Cause
or tip, but
I
it's
see
not allowed.
this guy and
He
this
said,
woman that worked as a custodians there and stuff. And every time we go in there, they're always polite, come up, say hello to us. And if we come in the store, they don't see us. They come up to us and say hello. So we were going to tip them, give them some money for Christmas, and we can't take it. We can't take it. So
it's not allowed.
you're right, not allowed. So that I understand that. But,
Mm.
yeah, but it just depends on where you go, what you're doing. You go in a bar and restaurant. For me, it's just kind of a habit, maybe because I'm from the United States, to leave a tip, 20% or whatever it is. Same with the taxi or Grab, but it all depends on the service too. We've had some Grabs where it's like, I don't want to get back in the car with that guy. But then we've had that guy. Remember, what was it? I left my phone in the back seat,
Yeah.
and he drove back with it, and we gave him some money for that. So very appreciative of that. So you give me a good service, I'm going to tip you. I'm going to tip you good. Uh, I don't tip just to tip, but I mean, when I was drinking and you're in the bar, you're always tipping because they always make the prices to where there's coins left, I should say. So, like, let's say you order a glass of beer and it's $1.25, so you give her $2 and you just leave the coins laying on the bar, and stuff like that. So they make it easy to tip in the bars most of the time, like that. It's a little trick they like to do, but that's just a habit thing and stuff. But yeah, so here in the Philippines, we haven't been to a bar since I've been here. I don't think ever. No, we've never been to a bar.
Never.
I don't drink anymore, and Lynn doesn't drink anymore. You don't drink anymore?
I don't drink. I drink water. What the heck? I drink water.
I don't drive you to drink. So we haven't been to a bar. We go restaurant types. We've been to a couple that were nice sit down places. I guess the waffle place and stuff. But
What's the name?
we left that waffle place over there. And
no, you don't, because you don't like the.
oh, what?
Maybe don't, because you don't like the.
I didn't tip at that place. I thought I tipped.
You didn't. I don't know. I'm not sure, but looks like you didn't,
because why?
Your order is still cold, and then they put the sauce.
You sure you were with me? This wasn't when you were with your other boyfriend?
Sabaco. What's this the name of the restaurant?
Waffle? Waffle.
No.
The waffle place. Whatever. Over there in towards Santa Rosa. Remember?
Oh, no, is that not? I'm not there with the you. I'm not go with you with the in Santa Rosa SM.
She's getting older. Memory is going fast.
No, when we go
Yes,
there
she
in the
did. Robinson's Mall over there. Remember?
Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson. Remember? There's a
What I'm
waffle
saying in the
place.
Alabang festival that we eat, like they have a pizza and I order like
That's
the
not a
sun.
sit-down restaurant, though, honey. That's a fast food Italian place.
Ah,
We went through line and got our food. No, you don't. I don't tip at those places. No, you don't have a waiter there. But no, I mean, so like I said, it's hard for me to say because we haven't been to any real fancy restaurants or So I do sometimes we tip out here. I think out here, I tipped a lady out here even when we go get something out here at Bridgeview sometimes. So it just depends. It depends. But anyway, appreciate y'all stopping in. Watch the video. Hope you enjoy it. Let us know what you think about the tipping situation in the United States and the Philippines and other countries. So me and Lynn has not been anywhere else other than the Philippines, United States. But let us know what you think about the tipping situation, and we'll see you next time.
yeah. I don't know. I imagine in the state you need to more when you go to in the restaurant or like that because you feel guilty if you don't give tips. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, that's our morning talk today. And hope you like it, and you comment down below, and of course, don't skip our ads, guys. Thank you so much. God bless everyone.
Peace.